So anyways, this says find the sum of the interior angles. Just for a quick recap, I'm going to skip question number 1 and I'm going to go to question number 2. But if I take a triangle and I draw a triangle, what is the sum of the measures of the interior angle? In other words, the measure of A. So if I say the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C, what is that going to add up to? All the interior angles of a triangle, what does that add up to? Yes, 180. So that's going to add up to 180 degrees. Now over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So the number of sides I have, remember whatever I write down, you guys write down, number of sides is equal to 6. But I want to show you guys something. Guess what? I'm going to say, I'm going to start and take your rulers out and draw a line from this angle, from the vertex to the vertex, and basically I'm constructing a triangle. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to construct a second triangle. Then I'm going to construct another triangle. Okay. How many triangles do I have?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. So now how many sides did I have?
6.
So the formula for this is n minus 2 times 180. That's how I find the sum of the measures of the interior angles of the given figure. If n equals 6, and I subtract 2 from it, then 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180 is actually 720. So if we look at this figure, the measure of the interior angles is 720 degrees. Now you don't have to draw the triangles every time, you just need to know this formula. Okay? So now, for question number 1, it says find the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex hexagon. Well, how many sides are in a hexagon? Does somebody know? 6. So it's n equals 6. Well, this is basically the same question, isn't it? A hexagon has 6 sides, so I take the formula n minus 2 times 180 degrees. This is how we find the sum of the interior angles. Well, n equals 6, so I say 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees. And then that's the same as 4 times 180 degrees. And that's 720 degrees. So now, if I want to do the same thing for this, I'm going to draw a triangle. I'm going to divide this up into triangles. So when I draw this one line, I have 2 triangles. But how many sides? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of sides I have is 4. The formula is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So the sum of the interior angles on this thing is going to be 4 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So then 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 times 180, which is 360 degrees. But the question says the sum of the measures of the interior and the angles, oops, I skipped problem number 3, we'll go back to that. Problem number 4 says find the value of x. Well, now x is not this little line. I just drew that line to show that we have 2 triangles, 2 times 180. You don't need to draw the line, you can just use the formula. Well, I found that the sum of all four of these equals 360, so I could say 360 is equal to x plus 135 plus 68 plus 110. All those are degrees. Now, before I solve for x, what I could probably do is combine like terms. So I'm going to add the 135, the 68, and the 110. So let's add that on a calculator. I'm going to say 135 plus 68 plus 110 equals 313. So on my next line, I've got 360 is equal to x plus 313 degrees. How do I solve for x? Yep, we're going to subtract 313 from both sides. And so let's do that on a calculator. I'm going to say 360 minus 313, which is 47. So I get 47 degrees over here, and then on this side of the equal sign, I get x equals 47 degrees. I skipped problem number 3. I probably should have waited and done that, but for problem number 3, it says the sum of the interior angles is 1440. Classify the number of sides. Do we know the number of sides? No, that's what they're asking us. So for this one, and I'm going to have to like draw like a weird little thing because I forgot all about that problem. For this one, I have the formula n minus 2 times 180 degrees is equal to 1440. However, I'm not sure what n is. So I'm going to take this equation and solve for n. So I need to move things away from the n. You do like a reverse order of operations. So I'm going to get rid of the 180. Now since this quantity n inside the parentheses is being multiplied by 180, what's the opposite of multiplying? Division. So I'm going to divide this by 180, and whatever I do on one side, I got to do to the other. So I'm going to get my handy dandy calculator and say 1440 divided by 180. Okay? So that means 8. So then I say n minus 2 equals 8. What do I do to get n by itself? Add 2. Yep, and then when I add 2 to both sides, I get n equals 8 plus 2, which is 10. So how many sides did that have? 10 sides. What do we call that? A big number. I think it's decagon.
Can you move the calculator?
Yep.
Don't change it.
Any questions on this? By the way, I'm recording, so we might want to minimize our conversations because the microphone will pick up what you're saying.
No, we're checking.
Okay? All right. I'm just giving everybody a few seconds to copy everything down. Well, the reason Mr. Adams is successful as a mathematician is because I write every little calculation down. And what that does is it slows my brain down, and I only focus on the whatever it is I'm writing down. And I'm less likely to make mistakes. Sometimes, it's funny, we teach you guys mental math when you're in elementary school, but when you're in high school, you, like, I don't know how to word it. I don't think we need to teach as much mental math because in the upper level math, it's almost impossible to solve these types of equations mentally.
Can you solve that?
Yeah, I could, but I still write it down because it's easier.